Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday live stream. So today, just like we talked about yesterday, we're going to talk about sentiment and what's going on in the market, and just about this whole altcoin business. Because I got to tell you that when I made yesterday's video, I thought I made it pretty clear about where we're going, but there is a lot of fear out there, and it's even more so than when I saw in 2020 leading up to 2021. So first of all, before we jump into that, I was kind of surprised as things were moving along. And I saw that Bitcoin had a little pump as I was putting this video together. And actually, we reached above 100K today. I don't know if everybody knew that, but I was kind of shocked because I was just perusing my portfolio. I'm like, wow, look at that little pump above 100,000. Then, of course, people sell off, not because people, truly believe in Bitcoin. They sell off because people want to make profits. And that's really what it comes down to. I know people will say, well, it should just keep going up and up and up, Rob. That's not how it works. People, as far as adoption goes into it, you have to understand there's a lot of people, a lot of trading, there's a lot of leverage going on. So this is just par for the course. And when I took a look at the heat map, this is what actually tipped me off. I was putting this together and I go, wow, I did not expect all this green today, because I woke up today, I was pretty darn red. People were freaking out. And that's what I saw essentially on crypto Twitter, as everybody was saying that this is it and everything's going to go down. Sure. I mean, it could. But I got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. And let's just take a look at just the basics. This is what it comes down to. I think we are right where we're supposed to be. And I know this is a little bit par for the course. People are like, yeah, I get it. But just take a look at this. Because everybody's wondering about alts. When alts? If you take a look at YouTube right now, it's what everybody is talking about. And the reason why all the people that have a YouTube channel or have a social media presence are talking about it is because that's what's on everybody's minds. It's not like I woke up today and was like, yeah, I'm just going to make some things about altcoins and CoinMarketCap. No, it's really just comes down to the sentiment and the questions that I get from people and why they are freaking me out. I know why, and I'll get to that in a second. So let's just break this down. This, we're taking a look at the crypto market cap. This is for the entire crypto market itself, and its trend line of where it goes. Now you can see here, let's just zoom in here for the first round, 2017 to 2020. And we can see that the lower band, this is what we believe it to be true as far as what the total market cap should be. And I will remind everybody that in 2017, when I got in, we were below a $1 trillion market cap. The total is in blue. You can see that right there. And we topped out around the 5th of January, 2018. Now, Bitcoin actually collapsed or started to take a major pullbacks in December of 2017 when the CME released the futures contracts. And then, of course, that's when we invited the traditional finance to get into it and go, hey, if you think it's going to go down, then why don't you short it? We dare you. And they did, and they made a killing off of us. So don't ever forget that TradFi knows how to move the markets. So then we can see here that is the, you have an upper bound and a lower bound level and a fair market value. We were way above the fair market value, which was supposed to be this upper band, 814, 64 billion total market cap is, yeah, look at that. We were way, way, way above what it was. It was just super overheated, and that's just what people expect in the crypto and digital asset market. That's just how it is. But then as time goes on, we can see that we go back to the fair market value. And over time, things work themselves out. Now, in the traditional markets, if you're going to have a 2x or a 3x over a year or 2 year time, you're crushing it. But if you're doing a 1x or a 2x or a 3x in crypto, you're having a good week. So when we take a look at the fair market value, this is where we really should be at. I mean, give or take a little bit, but this is what it's been across 2019, going into 2020. And we pretty much stayed in that range. And this is where people were dollar cost averaging, which is what we've all been doing, most of us. And then when we get into the 2020, 2021, what happened? Same thing. We get super overheated. We're on the fair market value. Fair value here in red, 416, 419 billion. And then we, for somehow, get overheated and over our skis. I think everybody knows this. And we were at a total market cap of $2.3 trillion when the fair market value should have been 553. Now the upper value is 6 trillion, which would have been nice. I mean, if we could have tripled all of our holdings, but that's just not how it is. And the fair market value, or excuse me, lower bound was about 190. So give or take around in May. Then November, where are we? Because that was our second topper, 2.92, roughly the same thing. So that's where we're at. Now, where are we at today? We're at the place of where we're supposed to be. It's taken a little bit longer, but this is us. Right where we are supposed to be. Fair market value, 3.4, actually it's going down. 3.42, 3.3 trillion. And it would be great if the upper band, if we could be at $33 trillion, but that's not going to happen. We didn't hit that upper value on the last bull run. But again, we're tracking just where we are. And then the lower band, at least we're not at 1.13 trillion. Imagine the price is there. That's not what we usually do. So now we move into the next phase. And before we get into it, I know people are going to say, but Rob, this really just comes down to, isn't it just about liquidity? Isn't it just about what the Fed's going to do? Yeah, pretty much. But it really comes down to, when is the Fed going to cut rates? When is the Fed going to stop quantitative tightening and go into quantitative easing? Well, it's when the economy itself starts to need stimulus. And the economy right now doesn't need stimulus, as we've seen different macro factors that have come out. However, initial claims just came out and they were above what was expected. So you have initial claims, people getting laid off, filing for initial claims for unemployment. Unemployment rate might go up. Who knows? We'll find out in the next macro event. If the unemployment rate's going up, what does that mean for the Fed? The Fed's like, there's something going wrong with the economy. Maybe we did too much. Maybe we'll cut. And maybe we'll cut and maybe we'll do quantitative easing. I don't know if that's going to work out, but it's just amazing to me just how skittish the actual market is. So let me go into a little bit more detail and talk to you about alts, because this is the thing that gets me. We're talking about alts and people are still freaking out. They're like, there's no altcoin run. There's no altcoin season. It seems like I put it into this altcoin, that altcoin, and it's not really working out for me. I got to tell you, I don't know how long you've been around, but I want to show you something about where you are, where you think you are. And of course, you know your portfolio better than I do, obviously, right? But this is a Bitcoin DCA simulation. You can sign up for this for free over at Ben's site. And if you want to get to the more heftier stuff, there's a link in the description for 10% off the first month. But what I'm going to show you here is, I think some people that are really, really super stressed out didn't follow any of the rules. And you don't have to follow my rules, but that first rule, I think everybody should follow. I think it's all gone. Meaning don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And I think in some of these situations, I think some people just invested way too much and they haven't been around that long. Check this out. I'm going to take DCAing again. Most of you, almost all of you have been with me for quite some time. And I know you've been dollar cost averaging the bear market. That would have been after 2021 into 2022, 2023, 2024. Here's your payoff. But I just keep seeing the same posts like, I'm underwater. I don't know what happened. I got into this altcoin, I got into that, and I'm just underwater, and I'm just not profitable. I don't know what to do. I'm going to lose this. I'm like, where are we? It's like we're in some crazy. Just take a look at this. So I'm going to take Bitcoin, $100 per week, starting on a Monday, and you're going to see what it's going to be for if we start on. I'm going to take it 6 months in advance. Okay, we're going to start in 2022. We're going to go 2023 to 2024 until today. This is 3 years, 2 months. Check this out. Let's compare this to assets such as Ethereum, which has been sucking, I must admit. Nas knows about that. XRP, Solana, BNB, Dogecoin. Let's just throw them all in there. Cardano, Tron, Chainlink, Avalanche, Stellar, Sui, Toncoin. Leo's a stable, I think. Hedera, Shiba Inu. I'm not going to use Bitcoin. Litecoin, Hyperliquid, DOT, Cash, Mantra, Uniswap, Ondo. Okay. This is where I'm going. We can only go up to 20, right? Let's just take these 20. Okay. So if you did, first of all, what the heck is this? Wow. If you would have invested into OM, which is mantra, you would be up 9,078%. You would have been at $1.5 million and you would have invested 16,200. Obviously, very few of us did that, or nobody did that. Who knows? Let's take mantra out for a second. Okay, that looks a little better. So you put in $100, you spend 16,000 over 3 years. Okay. You were sucking wind for a very long time because that's just how it works. Bear markets suck and nobody wants to stick around because it's very difficult to go through that mentality. But you did it. Congratulations. And now you get to reap the rewards. And look at this. For like a year, you were like getting laughed at by your friends and family. You're a sucker. You're throwing sand into the ocean. I can't believe how dumb you are. And then, of course, what happens? Like, well, who's dumb now, Jack? And then everything starts to blow up. Everybody's happy, right? And then all of a sudden, the friends that you haven't heard from forever start to call you. Hey, man, what should I invest into? You know what you should invest into? Leave me alone. That's what you should invest into. I'm just kidding. We should help those in need. Anyhow, so we're going to see here, just coming into January 27th, this is what our profit and loss would have been. And I know, like, I mean, I'm very Bitcoin heavy, but even if you weren't Bitcoin heavy, Sol, XRP, HBAR, Doge, and Stellar outperformed Bitcoin over that time frame. Okay? If you would have done Bitcoin only, you'd be up 207%, which is pretty great. Let's just be honest. But Tron, which I'm not a big fan of, you'd still be at up 193%. Chainlink, 151%. SWI, 145. Ton, 127. You can read. I don't have to show this to you, but you know, but this is what I'm getting to, right? Yes, you're not up 10,000%. I hear you for some of you, but for the majority of you, which have been here for quite some time, you understand this. You get the whole layout. But I mean, like even Litecoin, which is the worst performer besides Polkadot, you're up 15%. And in 3 years in traditional finance, I mean, that's actually not bad. Unless you're doing S&P. No, that's actually better than S&P 500. So in this situation, like you're still up. I think the people that did the hard work are good. Now you can tell me, Rob, I don't care about that because I was too freaked out to invest in 2022. Gotcha. Let's move forward. Let's go to August 1st, 2022, right? So maybe you found your bearings after everything collapsed in 2021. Here's where you'd be if you would have done that. Okay, if you would have invested in a Solana, 13,000, you'd be up 547%. You would have outperformed Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, HBAR, Stellar, and Doge. SWI, Tron, Link, and ADA would have been pretty close. Bitcoin Cash, not really. Ton, BNB, AVAX, Unite. Again, not too bad. But you'd still be up. You just wouldn't be up enough to, like, say, move to a tropical island and tell your boss to stick it because you are made generational gains. But hey, it's not bad. But then you could say to me the same thing. But Rob, I didn't do in 2022. I was freaking the F out. And I had to wait till 2023. Okay, let's take January 1st. How would you have done? You'd still be doing pretty good as of today. You'd be up 400%. Solana, XRP, HBAR, SWI, Stellar, and Doge. Now you got 6 that have outperformed Bitcoin. Tron, Link, ADA. Now you're up 100%. And then BNB, Bitcoin Cash, Ton, SHIB, AVAX, right? Not too bad. But then, hey, maybe 2023 wasn't your thing. Let's go to August 2023. How would you have done? Again, you missed the lows, but you know things are chopping sideways. How would you have been? Well, if you were on XRP, you've been up. Actually, the same ones. Doge, Stellar, Solana, HBAR, SWI, XRP. ADA, Tron, Link, BNB, Litecoin. Well, not really Litecoin. Not really BNB. Link, yeah, 70%. You're still up, right? Okay, great. Now let's go. Let's really go forward. Stop messing around. Get to the juice. How about June 2024? Right? It wasn't too long ago. What if you started back then? Because you're like, I didn't really want to go in the bear run. Sure. How are you doing today? You're still up big time. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 different altcoins have beaten Bitcoin. That's the thing. XRP, you're up 275%. HBAR 243. Stellar, Swede, Doge, ADA, you're up 72%. Link, Tron, and Bitcoin, you're only up 41%. And then let's just say for some reason, you're like, you know what? I just found you, Rob. And I hate the fact that you're so calm, but I've been following you since January 1st, 2025, and that's when I started to DCA. Cool. You're up a whopping 1.2%. And I think this is the cost of admission. This is what you have to pay to get into the club that is digital asset investing. It's called pain. And that's where you're at. So I know if a lot of people are complaining because like they just say there's no altcoin market, I didn't do this, I got it. Either it's a time issue or it's one of those meme coin issues. Like you made massive gains on something and then put it into meme coins. It's okay. It's all right. But that's why I make these rules. And that's why I talk about these things time and time again. It's not because I like to waste my breath. So I like to at least try to help people just a little bit so they can understand some things. It's just here. This is it. This is all I'm trying to say. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. Don't leave stuff on exchanges. They're going to collapse at some point. Don't use leverage. At least try not to. And take profits along the way. And that's pretty much it. So I know some people are still a little bit distressed, but I got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I talk about the rules. I follow the rules. I live it as best I can. I know when I started to talk about taking profits months and months and months ago, people are like, well, that's a dumb. And I'm like, well, it might be. I'm not a genius. But I think taking profits and putting those into other assets will work out for me. Maybe. And I'll probably miss out on some big stuff. And I probably will miss out on some big stuff. I still think that the market will turn around. I still think that we'll have some sort of a pretty good altcoin run. It's just maybe it's going to take a little longer, or maybe it's going to be deep into 2025. I don't know. But I will probably miss out on some super serious gains. But I don't have any stress. I think that's the guy at the end of this, the guy with no worries at the end of the day is the winner. And that's pretty much it. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. That went a little bit long, unfortunately. And now I want to show you something too. Well, there's a couple things. First of all, I think when people complain about like, hey, I'm down on on my altcoins, I'm like, are you really down, or are you just taking a look at like Phantom Wallet's really one of those ones that you take a look at it gives you like a 24-hour time frame. You're like, it doesn't really show you what your cost basis is and what your unrealized gains and losses are. I think that's a big problem on that, and maybe some other things that people might have. So first of all, I just saw this in my email yesterday. It looks like tax season is here. It's time to file. This is from Coinbase. I don't know. I don't remember Coinbase sending this out, but last year, but maybe I missed it. So it looks like, I think the IRS really wants those taxes paid, I guess. But and just as a reminder, CoinLedger is the tax software that I use. And I wanted to show you something, which is if you go to CoinLedger, links in the description, and under here where it's under products, see where it says portfolio tracker? If you click on that, you can sign up for it, and it takes all your information and spits out stuff like this. This is not my portfolio. This is a dummy portfolio. But you can see, like, it'll tell you, like, well, obviously how much you have, which is great. In 24 hours, you can figure that out. But I think I like this part here, the cost basis, how much you were paying per Bitcoin sold, Polygon, Tomato Coin, Chainlink, Fart Coin, whatever you're into. And it'll tell you, like, this is your unrealized return. This is your unrealized loss. So if you're thinking, like, maybe I should take some profits, maybe it's right there. Maybe use a spreadsheet. I don't know. But using this, it kind of gives you, like, a nice overview of what you're doing. Plus, what's great about that is you can use this and you can roll it into your taxes, which I don't know where you're at. CoinLedger they're not just in the United States. There's actually, Oh, yeah. Throughout Canada, US, UK, Australia, and a host of other countries that have taxes. So what I'm going to do here is I had a sit down with David Kemmer. He's the head over there at CoinLedger. And just so you know, April's coming up for taxes, and we went over a couple of things. I know people were complaining. They're like, hey, I need big help of doing this. And trust me, I can understand it. I've done this. This has been my 4th year now using CoinLedger. It gets tricky. So they're going to roll out a done-for-you service. So I'm going to play this video. It's 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes. Then we'll come back and do a little Q&A. So let's take a listen. Talk about taxes, everybody's favorite subject, until things go sideways. So for that, I had to bring on David, CoinLedger co-founder and CEO. David, thanks for coming back to the show for the 5th or 6th time now.
Yeah, always happy to jump on. It's good to see you, and always down to talk taxes.
I know. So there's been some different shakeups, but let's just do this. Let's just do it in a step-by-step process. First, let's talk about the basics. What's a taxable event? And then I want to talk about the new integrations and things you guys have going on. These new IRS rules, which went into effect, didn't go into effect. What the heck happened? And the last thing I want to talk about is the done-for-you service. Because if there's one question I get, it's, Rob, how can I make my life easier around taxes? How do I do taxes? Do you know a CPA? You know somebody? Can someone do it for me? I'm like, I don't, but I got a guy. So let's start with the basics. What is a taxable event?
Yeah, the basics, I think they're always good to touch up on is, if you're disposing of cryptocurrency, just like any other forms of property, whether that's real estate or stocks, same world in crypto. If you sell Bitcoin or any other crypto, you're realizing capital gains or capital losses, depending on how the price of your crypto has changed since you originally bought it. And in the US and most countries around the world, that capital gain is taxable income that needs to get reported on your taxes. So if you've sold crypto, if you've traded one crypto for another, if you've earned crypto through like staking or mining, that's taxable activity. And CoinLedger's platform that obviously specializes in helping folks, easily report that. But that's, the nuts and bolts of crypto taxes.
Gotcha. Okay, so 2 questions for you. First of all, let's say I buy Bitcoin for 90,000, goes up to 95,000. I exchange that for a stable coin. Is that taxable? Because it sounds like I'm just going back to dollars. So is that a taxable thing or not?
That is taxable. And even if it wasn't a stable coin, if it was maybe you traded it for ETHEREUM or any other coin, you're disposing of one asset and acquiring another. And that disposal, even if it's not for cash or US dollars, is a disposal. And that disposal is what triggers the taxable event. And in this case, if you sold it when it was worth 95, you got it for 90, that $5,000 of capital gain is income that needs to be picked up on your tax return.
Gotcha. How about this? I got a token or a crypto in Coinbase. I zip it over to Ledger. Taxable event or no?
Not taxable because you still own and possess the property, right? Yes, you moved it, but you still, have dominion and control over the asset in your Ledger wallet. And so just that transfer from one wallet you have to the other, it's kind of like, moving, money from one pocket to the other. Like it's not taxable. You're not disposing of it.
Gotcha. And then last question is Americans. So for the not just the tax season, but for the tax software, do you guys do anything besides the United States?
Yeah. Yep. CoinLedger serves a global audience. So people from all over the world can use the platform and do use the platform to track all their activity and report their activity in their home fiat currency, whether that's, US dollars, Australian dollars, pounds, euros, etc.
Oh, I got you. Actually, I think this is the one.
Yep.
So yeah, it looks like America, UK, Canada, Australia. And you say add more.
Those are our biggest markets, and we autofill the forms on the left. But even if you're in countries like Sweden and Germany, the forms on the right can still be used to populate those specific forms in Germany or other countries. Gotcha. Just like the forms on the right could populate IRS form 8949, right? But we just kind of autofill it. So we'll always be adding more forms that we're autofilling, but hopefully that makes sense.
That makes sense. Okay, so here's the next one. So make my life easy. Make everybody's life easy. Talk to us about the new integrations, and then also touch on this IRS new product, or the way the IRS wants you to actually file your taxes, because it sounded like you had to do it before December, and then they're like, nope, and we'll just go forward with that. So two things. What's new for you guys over at CoinLedger? What's up with the IRS?
Yeah. The big things is we're always doubling down on the scope and breadth of the platforms and blockchains that we integrate with. One big focus the past couple months has been the Solana ecosystem, you know, with the Trump meme coins and everything crazy going on. So we've shipped a whole bunch of new classifiers on top of Solana. So, you know, Pump.Fun, Moonshot, we integrate with all those platforms now very smoothly. And then to your question on kind of the regulations, we obviously go very, very deep, and we have a bunch of content, you know, on our blog that people can go deep if they want to. But the high level is in tax year 2025. So we're in 2025 right now. Taxes that people are doing right now is tax year 2024, right? You're working on reporting your income from 2024. But for tax year 2025, the reporting has to be done on a per account or per wallet basis. And that's a fancy way of just saying all of your gains and losses need to be solely tracked and scoped within the account that they occurred in. This is different than how most crypto investors have done things in the past, which is they accounted for all of their activity on a global level, where irrespective of the individual wallets and platforms they were using, they kind of just aggregate everything as if it was in one spreadsheet and calculated gains and losses that way. Now going forward, we do need to isolate all of the different wallets, track, you know, okay, I had 20,000 of gains in my Coinbase account. I had, you know, 10,000 of gains from my MetaMask wallet activity. I had, you know, negative 2,000 from my Ledger activity, and then those aggregate into your total taxable income. So the taxes are the same, you know, the taxable activity. It's just how you have to account for them is changing. Of course, CoinLedger is automatically supporting this for our users.
Awesome, because I was still a little confused on that one. I'm gonna have to read the blog post. So everybody who's watched the video, I'm gonna link the blog post on CoinLedger in the description so you can check out that guide, and we'll go from there. So that takes care of that little piece. And we're gonna touch base on that a little bit more, because David, I'm gonna definitely have you back, and we're gonna do a live stream at some point, have everybody do the Q&A. But let's talk about making our life really easy. So what kind of service do you guys have these days? Because I personally have my own CPA, but people are like, I need help.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we've been fielding like those types of questions. You know, we've been around for the past 8 years. And one thing we always get is, hey, do you just have someone who can just do this all for me? Which makes sense, right? I get it. Historically, we have not built out that services division. We've said, no, we're just a software platform. But over the past year, we've been working really hard to bring that like white glove service ability to those who want it. So that's what we call kind of our done for you service, which is really, hey, you're going to get teamed up with a CoinLedger tax professional, and they're going to do everything for you. They're going to import your data, you know, make sure all your transactions are properly classified, and ultimately generate the tax forms that you need to file your taxes. So that's live. It's been awesome. Sweet. We've been working with a bunch of people. It is a bit more expensive, right? So it might not be for everyone, but we're going to try to make that cheaper over the years. But first year that we're offering it, and we're excited about it.
So yeah, like I know when we're taking a look at this and people are saying, it looks kind of pricey, and I get it. If you just have like 2, 10, 20 different transactions, this isn't for you. Okay, this is for people who like, and you know who you are. You did a boatload of transactions and things are all over the place, and you've got multiple wallets. You're like, I don't want to deal with the headache. Exactly. This is something for you. And I think for me, even I might have to go down this road, because even my CPA last year was like, can you give me this and this and this and even more of this? And then I didn't understand this part. I'm like, oh my God. So, okay. So David, that makes sense. We'll link that in. This is actually a pretty short one. Do you have any other words of wisdom before we take off for people who are getting into the tax season these days?
No, I think the other thing I'd just say is if you do have questions, just reach out to us, help at coinledger.io. We're happy to answer those, really for free. And I'll be back later this tax season to dive into Q&A. So if folks have specific questions, keep an eye out. I'll come back and do a bigger Q&A on, the complexity that people are seeing out there.
Awesome. And maybe we'll have like a special guest or something. All right, everybody. So that's it. David, thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Woo. All right, then. So David, again, thanks for stopping by and explaining everything about taxes. The most exciting topic we could go over today, taxes. So that'd be it for today. So look, if you like today's video, and what's not to like? Taxes. Give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, I got a little bit of time. Let's stick around. Let's do a little Q&A and I'll answer all your questions. Let's get into it. This troll. Benjamin Cohen. Can the government take taxes on my Bitcoin dominance gains? No, but I am quite disappointed in these videos because I specifically asked for them to at least at one point hit 2 hours. I think the last one, I want to say, was like 45 minutes. Really slacking. I mean, kind of disappointed. But, some people are busy talking about Bitcoin dominance. Let's see what else. Curry. Now this is something to think about. Those rules we talk about, these guys over here? Curry did it. And it ain't easy. He says, I owe $24,000 in taxes from dumping my crypto back in November. Good problem to have to make 6 figures in gains. And I got to agree. And like I said, will Cory Bor miss out on some rip-roaring price appreciation? Maybe. Depends on what he invested into. If he invested into whatever coin that you can fill in that's not going to come back, maybe not. But if it was dumping all of Bitcoin and Ethereum, probably so. However, I can guarantee one thing about Curry, he has no stress right now. And that, I think, is the best thing. In the morning, not to get off topic, but in the morning, I get to walk my dog, I'm 2 blocks away from the beach, go down there, work out, come back. And I got to tell you, there's nothing greater than realizing that you don't have to go someplace and work for somebody and you're like no stress. Am I going to miss out on gains because I sold some crypto, back as well? Yes, I will. But I got to tell you, having no stress, I think, is the big win. And that's where I think people might miss it. It's great to hodl forever, and you have all that and it's generational wealth. That's great. But remember to take care of yourself first, because without you, where's your family going to do? So anyhow, that was it. Master Blaster says, I think crypto will do a lot better if David Sachs doesn't do any more lame press conferences. I got to agree. Although it was pretty good when he talked about stable coins and the people that he had around him. So I'm pretty optimistic. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. Bailey. Yes. Let's talk about extensions. There was a study out which took a look at the audits that the IRS does for people who file by April 15th and the people who ask for an extension and file in October, November, whatever it is. CPA always does this. And they found that the most audits are done from the people who filed on April 15th. Why is that? Well, it's because they have these coming in and they have the manpower. So as they come in, they sort of find mistakes and they start to audit those people. However, when they get a barrage of things coming in, then all of a sudden things sort of slip through the cracks. So as you space that out and they're going through all these audits throughout the year, by the time the second wave of people actually file, they're like, we don't really have the resources for that, so we're just going to let that stuff slide. And of course, they can go back years beforehand. But it is interesting about asking for extensions and how many people get audited. Now, I'm not saying that you should perform tax evasion. I'm just saying these are just one of those things. Also, if you have a business, make sure it's not an LLC single corp. Make sure that you have some kind of like S corp, C corp, or some multi LLC. Because when you have it as the single entity LLC, the IRS looks at that and goes, okay, we got one person to deal with, and if we're going to audit, those people get audited more so than, say, an S corp, a C corp, with a board and everything else. So I'm just saying, if you got a business, go that route. It's if you don't like being audited. I've been audited twice, and it sucks. Although, I mean, both times I got audited, the last time I didn't have to pay anything, and the one before that, I had to pay like an additional like $1,238, something like that. A lot of work for not a lot. Benjamin Cohen, the Lord of Bitcoin dominance. That's true. If you hear about Bitcoin dominance, you cannot help but mention Ben's name. Mullet's here. Fry. Why not Dixie going down even on positive news? I don't know. What's the dollar? I will tell you, David Sachs did have a pretty good commentary on stable coins, and he knows this, and I think we should all know this, is that with more stable coins, what is it attached to? Well, it's attached to the US dollar. So as stablecoin usages go up, so does, I believe, the strength of dollars. It's, wow, that is something. This is in the last day, though. Let's take a look at the last 5 days. How about the last month? 3 months? Okay. And let's go 1 year. Wow. I will say this, though. Usually if you take a look at the Dixie, as the dollar strengthens, usually the Bitcoin valuations go down. How about over 3 years? December 15th. Well, not this time. Who knows? Maybe that's the Trump effect. I guess we'll find out, huh? Let's see. Rather be sailing? Sure not. Andrew Harley, I never pay in April. It's probably a good way to do things. Yeah, it was on. You were just stuck at the DMV for 3 days. Oh, that'd be something. I hope they find FTX involved with USAID. I got to tell you, if you guys aren't following the happenings that are going on with USAID, going on for the amount of money that's being spent, you really should check out Crypto Twitter. It's a very nice place. Everybody's very sweet and nice, and nobody is angry at all. Go check that out. You can follow me there if you need a little guidance, but there's a lot of great things being found out about what America was actually paying for. Now, some of it is actually total bullocks. It is irrelevant, but some of the things, really good. Let's see. I'm 18 years old, down 30% on Shiba Inu. What advice would you give me? I'm a year into crypto. Man. You, my friend, are way ahead of a lot of people. So first of all, if you're 18 and into crypto right now, God, what a great time. What a great time. So with Shiba, I don't know your specific situation. Of course, I can't give anybody financial advice, but I got to tell you, time is on your side, my friend. If you're in the chats, let Imagine know what you would do here. Me personally, if you're going to be around for quite a long time, which you're 18, you're going to be around for quite a bit, you might want to take a look at some things that are a little bit more stable, maybe, and maybe get into those. Like if you're only in the Shiba Inu, that's a great pump, and it's great for quick money. But maybe you want to diversify just a little bit, just a little. Maybe get a little Bitcoin in there. Maybe get a little Solana and Ethereum. Maybe get a little other altcoins that you might like. But if it was me, I know this isn't a very, very sexy way to say things, but sometimes just getting into a safer asset. Bitcoin is the safest asset in the most unstable market class that you can possibly get into, unless you want to get into USDC, but I guess that's not really there. So yeah, something like that. And it was a funny thing because I remember doing a show a long time ago. This is when I first started the channel. I first started doing live streams back in 2020. And I had a kid. He was like between 18 and 20 years old, maybe 21. And he was asking, should he get into Bitcoin? And this is when Bitcoin was like 10 grand or something like that, 10, 11,000. And I said, you probably should, probably appreciate. But then someone in the comments said, well, this is 2020. They go, well, what can Bitcoin do? It's at 10,000. The last all-time high was 20,000. Who cares? It can only do a 2x from here. So sometimes just playing it safe actually is the best route. But sometimes gambling is a little good too. Let's see. Our Doc Strive is here. Why? Steve Jones says, why do we have to pay tax if there's no crypto laws and definitions? I don't understand. That will be something for your lawyer to talk to the IRS about. And if you're saying like there's no laws that say that we have to pay taxes, that's true in certain senses. But I guess you can ask Martha Stewart about that, or Al Capone. For some reason, they may have thought the same thing, and didn't work out for them. Do you like Unchained? Although I don't know, Martha Stewart was insider trading or tax evasion. I forget. Do you like Unchained? If that is the service, yes, this is the one that actually goes in and tries to help people remedy their lost digital assets from hackers. Then yeah, if it's something else, I don't know what you're talking about. Verhoofy, 18 years old, buy the top 10, excluding stablecoins, and hold for 10 years. Yeah, that's true. One of them should make it, right? I don't know if Ethereum is going to do it, but I still feel like it's going to do reasonably well. Bobby Shouts is here. Been a long time. You should get into some Bitcoin and ETH. Why not? And Ed is also right. Narratives carry projects more than utility in most cases. It's true. And then when the utility comes out, people are like, why are we using this thing? Like I always give the example of Chainlink. It seems like Chainlink has a partner with most of the projects, crypto products out there for an Oracle. And yet what has the price done? I mean, not too bad, but hasn't been like say Trump coin or something. Bailey says, Rob, you think alt season would be mega quick this cycle like Ben does? Everything's going to be quick, because even if you take a look at altcoin season the last 2 times, it's not like they last for years. I mean, we're looking at a couple of months here and there, and then it extends out depending on which specific digital asset that you're into. So for me, I'm always, and this is always the hardest thing, is about selling. You've only got so much time. And unfortunately, when things start to go up like crazy like that, you're going to probably think, well, if it did a 10x, it can do a 20x. If it did a 20, it can do a 50. And that's the problem. So to say like, will it be pretty quick? Really depends on how much liquidity we have. How long is the Fed printing money? How long are they cutting and holding rates as opposed to raising rates? That I think will determine a lot more than a lot of things that are out there. Jimmy says 30% is pretty high for a viral asset. Diversify the top 10 utility products. Pretty sure. Nas, 100% Bitcoin is good too. Yeah. Hello, Nick. Hola, hola. Hey, Rob, can you give us your prediction or your thoughts on SWI? I just saw an article about SWI being used via text message to send SWI over text. They're saying that SWI is essentially the next Solana killer. Solana was the Ethereum killer. And then, of course, they have a runoff with Aptos. I don't know for sure. I personally hold SWI, so I don't know. But so far, it's been a positive in my portfolio, like we just took a look at, as far as the DCA simulation, which that's not what it looks like. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So yeah, I mean, I mean, 230% is not bad. 168% is not bad. Kind of took a tumble. But yeah, not too shabby. I'll take it. I'll rather be sailing. Narratives are eroding so fast, hard to keep up. Yeah, you know, the narratives, unfortunately, to make videos, you kind of have to be involved and see what the sentiment is and what the narrative is, and then respond to that narrative. Like, I just see a lot of people who are nervous about this, and they think that, you know, that's it. You know, this is, there's no more altcoin season and it's going to collapse. And then of course, Bitcoin will collapse, or maybe it'll go up. Or, you know, some people are saying that everything will just, like David Bailey yesterday, everything will flow into Bitcoin. I don't think that's really the case. I think there's always going to be some room for some alts. The question is, which ones are they? So for people who make videos on YouTube, I hate the other word, you have to be in front of that, because that's what people are searching for, and that's what you want to be in front of them before they get in front of somebody who's like freaking out. And you can always tell the people that don't listen to their own advice, because when you go on their channel and you watch the video, they're all over the place and they're talking a mile a minute, and they're just they're just nervous. And it's like, you've been in here longest. Why do you have such angst? I mean, you should be pretty chill. This is actually a good time. I don't know. Surprises me. That's all. But yeah, the narratives are rotating fast. That's for sure. And it's a funny thing, because, you know, tomorrow, or let's say next week, we get some macroeconomic data, which bores the heck out of me, but I have to be understanding of it. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, we're going to get some rate cuts. And rate cuts, that's good. And then maybe we're going to stop the quantitative tightening. Oh, the quantitative tightening stopped. Maybe some easing will happen. Then all of a sudden we're back, baby, right? And then all the memes come out. Yes, exactly. I was the first. Sweet. Because I will never call it suey. That's how you call pigs in the Midwest. I'm not doing it. He is a troll. Huge, 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 huge. Do you think AI agents will still have room to form like virtual? Yes. AI agents are still going to be big, and the AI narrative is still going to be enormous. And there's a reason why the American government put $500 million into OpenAI, because they know that there is a runoff, there is a race right now, and it's between US and China. Now India is getting into it as well. Whoever wins AI essentially will control a lion's share of global economics, I think. Just like how, as far as Silicon Valley pretty much wrote the book for the internet, the next chapter, if you turn the page, is going to be artificial intelligence. Whoever wins that battle is going to be the next great power. Rebecca. Don't worry until QE returns and we still tank. That would be something. Mr. Sims, I came in late. What did I miss? Did I miss the Litecoin bull run? No, I just talked about how everybody should drop everything and just invest in a Litecoin. Carl Webb, you waiting until the Pi cycle top to sell any alts? I'm waiting for a bunch of stuff. And tomorrow, I know I've been saying this, but I mean it this time. We're going to go over that when I'm going to sell 50 to 80% of my alts, or all my crypto, I should say. And I redid some parts, and I spliced in some new data, and we'll go over that. It's like a watch along, and then I'll be here to answer all your questions. So Pi cycle top is one of them. There's 12 multiple MVRV score. And there's an aggregate on a specific website that I need you guys all to be aware of. And we're going to take a look at all those things. So yeah. Bailey says, I have too many NFTs. That's, as long as they were free, that's fine. Ephraim's here. Good morning. Great data. Good data. Ada Maxi. Ed's Ada Maxi. He's been outed. Yeah. And then Bobby Shout says, and we'll leave it on this one. I'm waiting for my alts to all-time high, then I'm done. Bitcoin then. You know, it's a funny thing. Remember in 2017 when we had some alts, and then everybody said, well, you know, Ethereum topped out at around 1,000, I think it was. Correct me in the comments. And then, you know, everybody said, well, ETH will go to 5,000 to 10,000. And we were close, but we didn't. But we did hit the all-time high, and then we did a 3 or 4 or 5x, somewhere around there, right? And then some alts just totally exploded. Well, so far, if you take a look at, and this is what is concerning to people right now. If you go to this site, which I like to talk about here and there, Coin Go Live, it'll tell you how far away they are to their high and when the all-time high was. So Bitcoin's all-time high was January 20th, 108,000, I think. Yeah, 108,076. I'll tell you the all-time high. So it's 10% away. But look at ETH. Look at ETH. ETH is 80% away from its all-time high. Huh. That's not good. XRP, 37%, but that's pretty close. The all-time high was 340. And they came pretty close to it, but still 37% away. Tether's Tether. Solana's 48% from its all-time high of almost 300, which was on 2025. Actually, if you just take a look at this, just take a look, and you can decide for yourself if whichever way you want to look at this. But I'd be very leery about all the cryptos that haven't hit their all-time high yet in 2024 or 2025. Bitcoin's one. Well, XRP, I think, gets a pass. It did so well. Solana is another one. BNB 2024. That's pretty close. Tron. All right. SWI, Toncoin. BitGet token. Hyperliquid. Mantra. There's a lot of Ondo. Pepe coin, December 9th. So you can take a look at it and say, and think to yourself, okay, these are not going to make it, or they're heavily undervalued. And that's for you to decide. So many questions, but again, I'll just say like this. I still think we're in the right place at the right time. I still think that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. If we just zoom out a little bit, actually a lot of bit, this is where we're at a 3.2 trillion market cap. And here's where we're going into November, December 2025, a market cap of fair market value of roughly 5 trillion. And that's at fair value. So we'll see. Anyhow, that's it for today, everybody. So thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe on your way out. Enjoy the day. It's beautiful out there. Thanks so much. See you guys in the next one. Adios.